Hi everybody, I'm here to take you behind the scenes on how I made my short film, Bobbing for Apple Pie.
My brother, because this is a dream that he has had for many years.
Let me start out by saying that the film definitely had its challenges. One being my husband, as a good sport as he is, does not enjoy acting. He does not enjoy being in front of a camera. As a way to not take up too much of my husband's time, I actually filmed all of my parts first, all the parts that didn't require him to be there. And I just pretended that he was there reading his lines back to me. And what I love about editing is that you can piece that together and you have no idea that he wasn't even there. Hey, heading out to the grocery store. I'll be back soon, okay?
Okay, I'll be right here.
It'll be kind of nice if you got some stuff done around the house while I'm gone.
Yeah, my body doesn't really want to move today.
You know, it's my day off too, but I don't get to sit around all day.
Well, that's your choice.
As you can see from this behind the scenes footage, I was setting up the lighting for my first shots. I typically like to use a doll that I've had for many years for lighting, seeing lighting on the face before I put in myself or another talent. I've actually done this for quite a while with many different scenarios and films. It really makes it easier because you can set up before an actor even gets there, or if you need a film by yourself like I had to in this case, you can just put the doll in there, kind of look at the lighting and see where the shadows fall, and then put yourself in there, and it's usually very close to what you were seeing on the doll's face. When I finally got to filming with my husband, I tried really hard to break up the scenes so that way we did the first scene one night, and then we did some of the montage pieces over the next couple of days. And vacuum before I get home. Then I'll make you an apple pie.
I don't think I can do all that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do it either. I'll be back.
I'll get that apple pie.
If you can see, I actually use two cameras to make it easier for editing because I could film and for filming, because you can see that I could film one event from two different angles, so that way you don't have to try and do so many takes. I learned this because I've done quite a few event films. And for event films, you can't go back through and have them do the event again. You can't ask them to get married again, so you can get new angles. So you set up more than one camera. And so this way, it also took some pressure off for my husband because he would only have to do the scene once or twice, and then I can go back through and take the two different angles and piece it together. I tried to shoot most of this in, at least on my FS5, in 4K, because if I needed to go back in and recompose a shot in editing, I could do that without having to worry about losing any quality, and you won't be able to tell in the final product that I had to go back through and recompose. One thing that I would change about this film, if I had to go back and redo it again, would be to film it all at the same time, like in the span of like a week or two, because we ended up filming some of the scenes 2 months later, and it caused a small issue because my husband's hair had grown out and he had to go get a haircut just so that way the continuity would still be there. I also had to go through and make sure that the shots were still, the previous shots would match up in the new shots, like for the background, the scenery, because we shot in the kitchen, and so in one shot from before you'd see certain things in the windowsill, and then when you go back into the new one, I had to make sure the same stuff was on the windowsill. When it came to the last scene with the burnt apple pie, I actually was going to make an apple pie for my husband. I was going to use the apples, and I bought a pie crust, and I was going to make a pie, but then because of timing issues, because trying to make a pie before I filmed, it was going to take forever to make a pie, so I decided just to buy a store-bought pie and then just try and burn it. I'm only going to burn a piece of the pie so my husband can still have the rest of the pie. It took forever to try and burn it in the oven. So what I ended up doing was I took it out and I popped in the toaster oven for a few minutes, and that really burnt some of the sugar and the edges, so that way you got that burnt look. Because I want to make sure that that really came across on film that it was burnt, because that was kind of the punchline to the story, was that, you know, her baking, it's either, you know, you can take it either way. You can take it as her baking wasn't all that great, but he loved her so much that he just liked her apple pies regardless of the fact that they were burnt. Or you can take it as he's a weirdo who really likes burnt pie. It's really up to how you want to take it.
You call that apple pie? It's like road tar just got inside of it. I had to do it once. I had to do it.
Anyway, that pie was actually also used to make the commercial you see earlier in the film.
So good. It's just like
I'm not super proud of the commercial that I had to make. I just kind of winged something together upstairs in my office, which we're actually in my office right now. Kind of just threw something together real quick and made a voiceover and just, you know, but as you can see from the full feature length here, which I'm going to show you, you know, it did come out at least well enough that it fit into the film and you got the idea. So it's not something that I'm super proud of, but I did do the trick. So here is the full-length commercial. Picked fresh from our backyard orchard. Taste the variety, from Cortland to Jazz apples. They taste so good, it's just like Grandma used to make. And don't forget that whipped cream. Come out and try one of our homemade Smith apple pies today. Some other interesting facts just from behind the scenes stuff. When we filmed, I originally intended this film to be shot in the fall because of apples, apple pie, apple picking. It would be cooler temperatures up here in New England, so I originally planned on filming it in the fall, but we actually filmed it in the middle of the summer, so it was pretty hot. Filming this last scene here it was the middle of July. It was like 90 degrees outside. We couldn't put the air conditioner on because of background noise or any fans because of background noise. So I'm sitting there in a long sleeve shirt and a big heavy jacket. I was pretty warm, which I'm really happy that didn't come across. But if I could do it again, I would, you know, if I had the opportunity to do it in the fall, I would have preferred that, just because the fact that it was so warm. Another interesting fact was we did not actually drop the bowl. I think most people probably figured that out, but I was on the floor with a pillow catching the bowl when he dropped it. Finally, the last interesting little tidbit I can think of is the vacuum cleaner. My vacuum cleaner actually has a safeguard on it, so when you you catch on something, it doesn't really get stuck. This was beneficial because I didn't break the vacuum, but it was also made it harder for my husband because he really had to act to make it feel like, you know, seem like it was really hard to get that out. All in all, I think I'm pretty proud of the film that came out of this. It did take a lot of work. My husband and I did a lot of takes, and we also did a lot of rehearsals before we did takes. So it wasn't a whole lot of fun. It did take several hours just to get a scene down, but I think it was a good learning experience. I learned a lot about directing, especially directing non-actors. And what I really love about this film, it's very personal. When I wrote this script, it was intended to kind of reflect my husband and I. Not that he's lazy, but that he really does try his best. He's a jokester. He really does love apple pie. And you can also see from my side that I can be kind of stern, but I really do have faith in him.
You didn't forget the whipped cream.
That was my crowning moment in my acting career, and you didn't even get it.
Okay, remember, don't actually put the fork into the pie, okay?
Is
Ready?
it recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. Ready?
Yeah.
And all you're gonna do is just dig in. So let me just.
Oh, I actually have to eat this.
No, you're gonna dig in. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get your face. I'm just getting you putting your fork into the apple pie. Sorry to hear that, cutie. Have more to work off of. You got this.
Let's go.
Tom, your hair looks kind of funny like that. It's all fluffy. So I hope you really enjoyed watching Bobbing for Apple Pie, and I really hope you learned something from watching this director's commentary.